guys, it's Emily from Novel Novels and welcome to today's video. This is the birth year book tag and today's my birthday! Yay! I'm actually filming it a week early, but hey ho. So I thought I could do the birthday book tag. I thought, do you know what, I'm going to be different this year. I'm going to do the birth year book tag, which I saw on Verna's channel. I've also seen Roz from Scally Daglings about the book do it. So because Roz's channel's a little bit, because Verna, when she did it, she did the birth year book tag and another couple of tags. But I will link both their channels down below actually. Yeah, I'll be nice. I'll link both their channels down below and some other channels for the last prompt. Now, this will be a short and sweet video because I'm so old. Yes, as of today, I'm going to be the big 43. That's scary. So, it is really hard to find books that were written, that were published the year I was born. It was very hard. I had some great fun doing this on Google. I had fun trying to find the movies. And even for when I was 18, it was very hard to find those as well. So, I hope you enjoy this because it was fun trying to make this. Anyway, let's get on with the prompts. Prompt number 1. Have you read any books published in the year you were born? If so, what were they? And what was your favourite? And why? I finally did it! I finally read a book in the year published the year I was born. The Animals of Farthing Wood by Colin Dan. I love this book. So when I found out this was published the year I was born, I was so happy. I only read this last year and it is such a good book, but it's very emotional. Now, I remember the cartoon of this growing up. That proves how old I am. We must face the facts, Toad cried. Farthing Wood is finished. In another couple of years, it won't even exist. We must all find a new home before it's too late. When the men arrive with bulldozers at Farthing Wood, its animals and birds know that their world is doomed. Their only chance is for Badger, Toad, and Kestrel and the others is a perilous cross-country trek towards a new life in the nature reserve, but not even Fox, their brave, intelligent leader, is prepared for all the dangers that lie ahead. And when disaster strikes the group, their new home seems an impossible dream. Characters, animals do die in this book, so be warned, it is very, very emotional. But it is very well written, it's a gorgeous book, and I thoroughly, thoroughly loved it. I'm going to keep it because I will probably reread it at some point. The next, if you haven't read any books, birth year books, which ones do you pledge to read in the next 6 months, and why have you chosen it? Well, there's actually 2 books. Because I've only read one, I thought I would choose 2 books to pledge myself to read. The first one is Kindred by Octavia Butler, which I was given by the lovely Tracy from Bookie Tracy on Instagram. I'm pledging big time to read that. And Tracy, if you're watching this, I'm going to link her channel and link her on Instagram because I know she's still on Instagram, and see if she wants to buddy read it. And if so, is there any of the rest of you that want to buddy read Kindred with me? It's been all over BookTube. It is a book that's got a bit of time hop, so I can't believe this was only published the year I was born. In 1976, Dana dreams of being a writer. In 1815, she's assumed a slave. When Dana first meets Rufus on a Maryland plantation, he's drowning. She saves his life, and it will happen again and again. Neither of them understand his power to summon her whenever his life is threatened, nor the significance of the ties that bind them. Each time Dana saves him, the more aware she is of her own life might be over before it's even begun. This looks really good. Definitely one. Now, the other one has had mixed reviews because some people have loved this. It's Moby Dick. Some people have loved it and some people have hated it. So I am going to pledge to read this in this next 6 months. But this is another one. Will you please buddy read it with me? Someone please buddy read this with me. It was first published in Britain in 1851, apparently. So it's first published in it. It was also published in 1979. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, I don't think this counts, but anyway, does someone want to buddy read this? Because if it was published in 1851, then has it been published in 1979? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to count that one. But hey, that's another book I do want to read. So that's my pledge, the Kindred. Someone please say about buddy reading that with me. Okay, prompt number 2, have you read any books published on the year you turned 18? If so, what was your favourite and why? This is controversial. There's only one book that I've read published in 1997, and that is The Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling. Now, I don't support the author. You guys know I do not support the author at all. But I am going to be honest and say that The Chamber of Secrets is my favourite of the series. It is the book where Dobby appears. I absolutely, thoroughly loved it. I've got an illustrated edition. I've got another edition. I think I've got about 2 or 3 editions of that book. And I loved it. And I'm really sorry. But I am really having a battle. I'm going to be honest with you on this, because it's my birthday, so why not? Might as well be honest. Is that I do not support J.K. Rowling whatsoever. I've not bought her adult books. I will not buy her adult books. But I do like the Harry Potter series. And this is where I've been spending the last year, year or two since this all kicked off, being really worried about what I'm going to say about it. Because, like I said, totally not. I do not support the author. Will not buy any of her books new. Like, I won't try and support her, but I do love the books. Is it okay if I read them with you guys? Will you all understand if I want to read these books and include them on my channel, or should I just keep them and not read them? Because I'd love to reread the series, but I'm frightened that people are gonna not like me for doing it. So there you go. That's that one. Bit of a true story here. Okay. But there is another book that was published the year I turned 18 I would like to again pledge to read in the next 6 months. And this is Tipping the Velvet by Sarah Waters. I was given this gorgeous copy by the lovely Gemma from Reader Book Gem. And it's one of her earlier works. It was published, like I said, in 1997. It's a book that I'm desperate to read. And it's another one I'm pledging to you guys to make me do it. Will someone buddy read this with me? It's piercing the shadows of the naked stage was a single shaft of rosy limelight. In the centre was a girl, the most marvellous girl. I knew it at once, that all I had seen. It's set in the music halls of Victorian London. Tipping the Velvet is the glorious first novel from Sarah Waters, and I do love Sarah Waters' work. So, yeah. Will somebody read that with me? Okay, now to have some fun. Number 3, of the last 10 books you read, how many were published before you were born? What were they? Did you prefer them to your newer books? Right, for starters, I read 33 books last month, as you would have seen my wrap up. So none of them, I didn't read any. In the last 10, they were all modern. But that month, I did read 3 books that were published before I was born, and that was the St Clair's book. So the first year at St Clair's by Neil Blyton. Bloody loved it. Love all those books. They're on my Amazon wish list. I want all the St Clair's books. I will happily read Enid Blyton again and again and again. The next one was Anne of Avonlea. You know I'm doing the Anne along. Again, happily love them. Prefer them to the newer middle grade. Sometimes I think some of the classics, the children's classics that were published in the 50s and before, thoroughly love them. I think they're better. And then lastly, The Age of Innocence, which was, in my eyes, cack. So, didn't love that as much. Okay, so that kind of gives you an idea. I don't read very many books. I think my classics were obviously published before I was born. And that's about it, really. I don't think any of the other ones have been, really. But children's classics I love the best, I think, at the moment. Right, next one's number 4. What was your favourite movie from your birth year and why? I only seen one book that was published that came out on my birth year. And that's The Muppet Movie. And why not? I love The Muppets. I think that was brilliant. I loved Muppets. I love Muppets movies. Muppets were around when I was growing up, and Muppets Christmas Carol is probably one of my favourite Christmas films ever. I thoroughly loved it. The Muppets make me crack up laughing. Don't know how PC they are these days, but they're bloody funny. Number 5. What was your favourite movie from the year you turned 18 and why? Again, I found this really hard because I wasn't really watching many films when I was 18. I was living my life, starting to go out, starting to have a bit of a life. But 2 of the films that I researched that came out that year are You've Got Mail by which is the Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan film, which, oh my god, is a proper cozy, it's like a chick lit in a film. It's a proper cozy romance book that I thoroughly loved, and it was like a hug in a romance, and it was Tom Hanks when he was younger, and I absolutely loved it. Now I've got another two actually. I only put down one other film that came out the year I turned 18 that I loved. But two of them are both actually Gwyneth Paltrow books, Gwyneth Paltrow films. The first one was Shakespeare in Love, and it was where I started liking Shakespeare a bit, and I think it has a gorgeous man in it, Joseph something or another, and he's gorgeous. I remember loving that. I remember loving Shakespeare in Love. I thought it was brilliant. It's a brilliant turn on Shakespeare. Great to see Elizabeth I portrayed so well in that. I thought it was fun, and I really loved it. The other Gwyneth Paltrow book was actually a film that actually really got me thinking. And because when I turned 18, the year I turned 18 was the year I had my car accident. So it was the principle, it was called Sliding Doors by Gwyneth Paltrow. And it was about how one thing that happened, it was something that happened right at the start of the film, and her life took two different directions. One ended sadly and one ended happily. And it was how one thing we do will change the whole way our lives go. And obviously, like, to me, had I not crossed the road that day, had I gone under my underpass and not been hit by the car, and my life not changed the way it did, where would I be? Would I still have Chris? Would I still have the kids? Would I have all of this? Not having disabilities, how would my life have changed? Would I have done things differently? I don't know, because it makes you think every action has a reaction, every action has a consequence. And to be honest, if I could have picked having the car accident and still having Chris over, I would have rather had my disabilities and still had Chris and the kids than not have the disabilities and not have them. There's no question in my life, you know, no matter what's happened, I've made the best of it. So that's why I think for me at the time, that year, Sliding Doors really hit home for me, because that was the year that it really made, right at the end of the year, made me think, you know, what would have been. So, bit of a sad one, but there you go. I hope this video is a nice short one for my birthday. That's good. Now, apparently you've got to tag someone for every decade you have lived. I've lived 4 decades. God, that makes me feel really old. So I'm tagging some people that have, this is going to be fun, because I've got Ange, who I believe has had a similar number of decades to me. And also her birthday's coming up in April, so I want to shout her out and get her birthday. I can't wait to get her a birthday present. I'm excited. Then we've got Alice from the Giant Bookshelves, because I tag Alice in just about everything at the moment, and I think she will be fun to do this. Tori from Hufflepuff Discovery, because, well, Tori's not had many decades. She's only got 2 people, I think, to tag. And then lastly, another person I love tagging and making giggle is Gemma from Gem of Books. Now, Read a Book Gem doesn't do very many tags, so I'm not tagging on this, but if you want to do it, Gem, you can do it. And they're also 4 really good friends of mine. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, not subscribed yet, ring on my ding-a-ling. And I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.